Rock Talk.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning, the Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show, heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW, New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at gerardatlarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
Rock Talk.
Yeehaw! Welcome back to Rock Talk.
I caught you just right that time.
Jane, can you test your mic, please?
Test.
Test.
Hello.
Okay, we got the right one. Mm-hmm. All these extra headsets we have now, thanks to the generous donations of many people, allow us to have more people talking in more headsets, but I don't know which ones are which anymore once I get past you. So, Jane, welcome back.
Thank you.
Busy week?
Tremendously.
So, what did you want to share? Jane Cormier is the president of New Hampshire Right to Life.
Yes. Well, we have some legislation coming into the Senate on Thursday, and there are some, we have the abortion buffer zone repeal that we're hoping will pass because it's unconstitutional.
Right, and that's coming back up. They were going to vote on it last Thursday.
Right, special ordered it.
They special ordered it to the following week. I was told because Regina Birdsell was on vacation and they wanted her
She
there for the
requested,
vote. So,
absolutely.
Okay.
So a lot of the good education bills that the gallery was filled to support were kind of disappointed, and we had some lifers up there as well because we have HB560, which is coming up, which is the fetal homicide bill for 8 weeks. It's a fair, just bill for families that suffer through the horror of a fetal homicide, giving the baby a legal entity to be able to get some justice at the end of the day. And that has passed the House, and Senate Bill 40, here's the controversy, came up with some language that had a few words in it that made it a virtual impossible barrier to get any legal justice, extrauterine survival viability, which is blah, 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 blah. And because there is nothing connected to that, the families that would seek justice for fetal homicide would have to sit in a courtroom while the attorneys batter each other and the families about what viability extrauterine could the baby have lived. It would be better to have no bill or law at all than to have that one. That's how bad that language is. Americans United for Life has come out with 2 letters, I believe, that have been sent to the legislature saying, do not do the unamended version. So the SB 40 went into the House a couple of weeks ago, and the House amended that bill to be pretty much the same as the Bill 560, which is 8 weeks viability, and or which, as far as a definition of when life would be legally.
Execution would have occurred at the hands of some horrible other individual, unintentionally or
criminal. Very
Criminal.
important.
That's the
right,
word.
criminal. And abortion is explicitly exempted in both of these bills, so that there's no abortion, speak in this bill. This is justice for families that have lost a wanted member of their family that lost it through a criminal act. So now this amended bill of SB 40 has gone back to the Senate. Should be this Thursday that we hear it, and there's all kinds of controversy. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy things, and basically what I'm hearing is that the House should not have amended SB 40 because now the senators supposedly will kill the bill. And I keep trying to get a reason why, and I keep hearing just the same speak. Should not have amended SB 40. Well, you know what? Who cares about the political entity anymore?
It's a bicameral system. They have a right to amend it. You have a right to oppose the amended version.
Yes.
You have a right to amend the amended version.
It's political.
It is.
It's a political thing on who can jump on the bandwagon and call themselves pro-life. But you know what? If you call yourself pro-life with a really bad bill, then you should be called to the table, because that's hypocrisy in its extreme
I'm always
form.
trying to come up with new and interesting ways to approach this problem. And the other day it occurred to me, is there life before conception?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, so what happens after? Just a thought.
Oh, okay. New Hampshire Right to Life has always been, conception to natural death, right? Always. 1974 to today, that's our one message. That's what we stand by. But this bill, we're very, very active with this, and we've got some people that will be coming up next week and speaking for doing the right thing and passing either HB 560, which will be coming up, pass it. Republican senators, that is a large plank in your platform to support life.
And we've been talking about that a lot this week, in case you missed it.
Yes, we have. And, hopefully politics won't get into the way and call the unamended SB 40 the real fetal homicide bill, because it isn't. And if it does get killed, we will come back stronger next session and try again. There's nothing, not, quote, winning isn't the worst thing that can happen. Sometimes you have to lose before you can win.
Right, and then there's the awareness question.
Yes.
People hadn't really thought about it. I think there's a lot of people that didn't think, oh, geez, what if that mom wanted that baby and she was in a car accident and the baby was killed?
Indeed. Well, 2 sessions, it died in the House, right? I mean, last session when I was a sitting rep, we fought hard Leon Rideout's bill, Griffin's Law, same bill, and it didn't pass the House. Well, now it's passed the House not once but twice. So, yes, education did occur.
Yeah, and this isn't the most conservative
Certainly.
pro-life House we've had. So
Absolutely.
That's an interesting point. All right, any more legislation, or is that pretty much it till the end
pretty
of the
much
session?
Pretty much it for the big ones for us right now, yeah.
Okay, so we can move on to the last part of our weekly traditional Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. We kind of already had somebody penned in there. We thought that was probably the winner. A Republican National Committeeman, Steve Duprey, was spotted and admitted attending a Planned Parenthood Action Fund event, claiming all kinds of things, none of which is relevant. He's been pro-abortion for at least 43 years, says that he supports both pro-life and pro-abortion people, which still doesn't matter because he still supports death in the womb. And he went to this event. He claims he didn't know exactly what it was going to be about. It turned out to be an event to raise money to basically defeat Kelly Ayotte and to defeat Republicans. And the entire purpose of an RNC committeeman is really to represent the Republican values of his state at the national committee. Our platform is pro-life, and he clearly has failed that in enough of a way publicly that makes his ability to represent that interest and puts it in question. So I don't know if we have anything better. Obviously, there's lots of things that happened. The Garland, Texas shooting, which was a non-event because a guy, a traffic cop with a gun, killed both of the terrorists moments after they stepped from their vehicle and started firing. Okay,
I personally like the White House. The White House described that as an attempted terrorist attack.
Attempted terrorist attack.
The security guard who got shot in the foot probably doesn't. Probably feels a little differently about being an attempted terrorist attack.
And the cop that got them was amazing as a hero. I mean, these guys were wearing at least lightweight armor. They were, and they were two of them. They were moving. And he managed to get both of them with just a handgun.
That's right. 2 shots, 1 each.
And that's, for those of you who aren't familiar and think that TV gun handling is the magic of all gun handling, hitting a target stationary with a handgun at any distance is not the easiest thing in the world unless you practice. And then even when you do that, you're still shooting at a moving target, which makes it even harder.
Which is why when you hear when these occasional tragedies occur where they shoot the wrong person, like that guy running from his car, there were bullets everywhere. Was it 9, 11 bullets to bring the guy down, who shouldn't have been brought down in the first place? It's in fact much more likely that many bullets will be wasted if you're trying to hit a moving target than you're going to get one person with each bullet. And the fact that this guy was not only ready and on the ball, but the fact that he got them with one each says that this is in fact not just any cop, but a very, very accurate cop and a very alert cop.
Right.
Well, hopefully he will retain his job. The government won't come down. The AG won't investigate him. The IRS won't check his taxes.
I think it's a little different in Texas.
Well, I think you're right. I think it is. I think there's a few people who might step up and say, no, that's not going to happen here.
Yeah, and he will have the support of the governor for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that was a potential disaster. And, of course, the left came along and said, well, it's Pam Geller's fault for trying to engage in free speech.
It's amazing. It's amazing how Chris Cuomo, who's on CNN, actually came out and said, well, free speech is okay, but hate speech is not covered by free speech. Which of course
it is.
The purpose of having a First Amendment is so that people can say odious, noxious things that we absolutely find abhorrent, but they have the right to say them.
And then they have the right to be excoriated in public,
castigated, exiled, whatever
for what they said, cast out of polite society. But they have the right to say them and not be automatically killed for them.
And do you know what the scary thing is about what you just said? Was that there is a large portion of our population that actually believes that's true, that believe that hate speech, you don't allow that, and they just believe that that's true, that that's part of the First Amendment, that you don't allow hate speech.
Well, they're being programmed. No, you can't hear it on the feed, but you have to listen to it on your side because my battery was about to die and we would lose the program. Anyway, Nicole Gelinas over at City Journal has a great piece about this. I linked to it this morning, but this was the pull quote that I took out. Speech is speech, and shooting people is shooting people. Everyone who lives in a Western society should understand the distinction.
Wonderful. Wow.
I think that's great.
It's simple. It's simple. It's clean. It's neat. The left will hate it.
The left will.
The other thing I
hate it.
posted related to this was a comic who had to defend a tweet that he put up. Evan Sayet, and this is also linked on the front of GraniteGrock.com. His tweet was, "My favorite drawings at the Muhammad Cartoon Festival in Texas were the two chalk outlines out front."
Okay.
And he naturally the left went off on him. Some people thought it was inappropriate and rude, and he responded that it seems a little difficult. It seems irresponsible of people to have to force me to defend free speech.
There you go.
Over this, where we have terrorists who are attempting to kill people engaging in free speech. And he's
and it's amazing how people can take this cavalier attitude where if, as Mike pointed out, that cop does not do what he does, those terrorists get into that event and start shooting people up, and we're talking about a huge tragedy that has been averted.
Well, and even if they don't, they shoot the cops, they shoot the other security that are there before they have a chance to respond.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got two taxpayer-funded bullets,
right. 2
dead terrorists. There isn't a better calculus than that I can think of.
That is absolutely great. And so there was one other thing that I was thinking of. If you get into, as Jane said, the mindset that hate speech is bad, hate speech should be shut down. First of all, you're thinking like O'Reilly, which is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. Secondly, you end up with Canada. And if you think it can't happen here, read Mark Stein's book, Lights Out.
Excellent
about the battle to the death, practically, that he and the magazine Maclean's had with the basically
the Human Rights Commission,
the care of Canada, the Islamic organizations, and the Human Rights Commission people who have little tribunals in every city and state of Canada that have the right to declare you guilty, and you have to prove your innocence in much the same way.
And that's exactly how it was. And he's like the first person who's managed to succeed to not be found guilty. I mean, everybody's been found guilty.
And he did to them what we do to some of our accusers, which he kept on ridiculing them even as they tried to put him out of business.
All right, that's it for this week of Grok Talk. We'll be back next week with more news, more talk, more Grok Talk, more blah, 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 squirrels, etc., etc. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll talk to you next week.